heroes for one. In this day and age, you better have some more.
Welcome to another episode of Go Ape Podcast. I'm Jon Randall. With me as always,
Brandon Gallagher.
What's up, Brandon?
Hello, how are you?
We just watched a terrible film.
Did we?
Yep.
We'll see about that whenever we discuss it here on Go Ape Podcast 2.0.
2.0. You can reach us at Go Ape Podcast on Twitter. I am also Ape Randall on Twitter.
I'm Savage GM on Twitter.
So you can hit us up on those spots. If you have questions, comments, things you want to say, anything like that, that's where you can find us.
You can send us an email too. It's at goapepodcastshow@gmail.com.
That's correct.
I remembered. See how that works?
Yeah, because we got an email finally.
We did.
How many episodes in are we?
This is going to be the 39th episode.
39th episode, we finally got an email from someone.
It's really the 40th.
It is really the 40th because we had an episode 0.
So yeah, we got a new email from Mike Sinclair. He's a new listener.
Hello, Mike.
Hey, Mike. How's it going?
Welcome to the family of gapers.
Yep, hopefully he'll be a gaper. And he says that he's a big Planet of the Apes fan.
Okay.
And he just found our podcast, and he's happy that he found it, which he doesn't know yet what he's stepped into.
He'll find out.
Yeah, he subscribes to some other podcasts about Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
And he's looking forward to our older episodes.
Well, that's good. I can understand that.
Yeah, and I told him I hope that he stays on and enjoys Go Ape 2.0.
Yeah. And, ultimately, if you hear this episode, Mike Sinclair, you really just got to be selective because we have reviewed some crap movies already in this Go Ape 2.0. Well, TMNT 3 was crap. Last week's TMNT was kind of balls. And tonight's movie was also not very good. But we'll get to that.
That's your opinion.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
So, what else is going on?
Not much. Pretty easy week. Some things happened this week. They released a picture of the Joker.
They did?
For the Suicide Squad
I guess
movie.
we better talk about that. Jared Leto as the Joker in Suicide Squad.
I guess he's the Joker. Somebody I was talking to put it best. Okay, they said he looks less like the Joker and more like a Joker fanboy is what he looks like. Someone who wants to be the Joker is what it looks like.
So you're looking at somebody that wants to be me, right? That's what it is?
And what they need is their ass kicked.
Bad.
Real bad.
Real bad. That's right.
It's not a good Joker portrayal. I didn't care for it at all. And I saw your thing saying if you didn't have the tattoos, maybe people would have given it a better shot. And I saw the picture you tweeted with him with clothes on that somebody had rendered. I still just don't care for it. I
haven't really told anybody what I think about the picture. Once again, I'm just going to say that
raw ears, Go Ape ears.
Yes, this is top stuff.
I think I know where you're going to go with this.
Well, once again, I think everybody just needs to chill the fuck out. And for starters, there's several things that's wrong with it. For one, I don't remember many places where I've seen the Joker without his clothes on. His clothes are just as iconic as he is. So for them to release a picture, not only with him without his clothes, which I didn't care for them doing that, and then them using markers to pretty much put his catch slogans and his brand on his body
is ridiculous.
I'm hoping that it's not even going to be in the movie. I'm hoping that's not the way he's going to look with those tattoos. But if they are, I'm hoping he's going to have his clothes on. You see what I'm saying? Like, he's got those tattoos, no big deal. I think one of the problems is that it's a static image. Okay? Now, the Joker's very known for his, the way he is, the way he reacts to stuff, his type of personality. The fact that Jared Leto's got his hands up on top of his head, we can't really see his hair, we can't really see him in a normal smile, which is what the Joker's known for, and his laugh. He's almost like he's screaming, like he's got a fucking headache or something. To me, many things of the picture are hopefully going to be misleading. That he's going to look much better when we see him actually moving, smiling, laughing, being crazy. Have his clothes on, the way that picture did depict him that guy made, which I thought it looked okay. But I just think we need to wait and see some more. I don't think it was a good picture to put out there.
I don't think it was a good picture to put out there, and I think if that is his design, and that's the design that they're going with, I think the person who designed it doesn't have a clue of what the Joker is. Like, they apparently never picked up a Batman comic ever.
It's like they've got a character. The tattoos, you can tell they're made by marker, and that already looks poor. And then, this is a tattoo, time. A lot of people got tattoos. We've seen some good tattoos.
Yeah, tattoos.
Oh, you son of a bitch. So my thing is, I don't hate the picture. I think the picture is very misleading to us, and it's their fault. It's not our fault. It's their fault. They put him in a strange pose. He's got strange fronts on his teeth, which they make the eye go to. And again, it's an item that you don't see the Joker usually with. The tattoos you don't see him usually with. So it's all these things that are non-Joker. It's non-traditionalist to what we know. But I'm hoping that he will have his clothes on in the fucking film, please. And we'll get to see his green hair the way it should be. And we'll see him, we'll have to see his personality instead of just a static picture. It's almost as if, think of it as like a picture of Batman. And, like, he's just coming up out of the shower or something, and he's got, like, his towel. He was doing his head with a towel, like, halfway. Like, that's not the way he needs to be depicted. That's not the way that we've seen him depicted. So, I think whoever put out the picture was a fucking idiot, to be honest with you. I haven't heard almost anything good about the picture.
I haven't heard anybody say they like the picture.
I've heard a couple people say that after a while they've gotten used to it. I don't think it's a terrible picture. Well, I think it's a bad PR picture for them. But I'm not going to say that he's going to be terrible as the Joker, or the Joker's going to be a shit character or something like that until I actually see him in motion, action, and being the Joker.
My honest reaction when I first saw the picture was just this. Seriously?
Yeah.
That's what I said
Why
when
so
I looked
serious?
at it.
Why so serious, Joe?
I was like, oh, Jesus. But when I looked at it, I was just like, seriously? Because it was too heavy-handed, like writing damaged on his forehead and all over his body. I'm just like, this is stupid.
Did you see my Urkel tweet?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, that's what it is. Like, you don't need to put the person's catchphrases in the way they are on their body.
No.
That doesn't make any sense. And I guess that they're going to try to make him be some sort of, like, punk guy, maybe, that's got a bunch of tattoos.
Did you ever see Batman Beyond? Did you ever see that cartoon?
Yeah.
Back in the day?
Yeah.
Like, the Joker's gang in that was a bunch of, like, cyberpunk kids that kind of look like the Joker, but they were the Joker. That's what he reminds me of. I mean, he looks like one of the characters from, like, Batman Beyond. He doesn't look like the Joker. That's my thing. I just don't like it, but whatever.
Well, I mean, we need to see a picture of him smiling without his hands in front of his face like that. I mean, there's so many things that are wrong just structurally with the way they took that picture.
So they did a whole photo shoot, I'm sure, and somebody went, "That's the picture.
Yeah.
That's the one." And Jared Leto went, "Mm-hmm."
Yeah.
And they're morons.
Like I said, I think it's bad, but I'm not already ready to crumple him up and throw him away in the trash until I see some actual video. Pictures are very deceiving.
I'm not judging his portrayal because I don't know how he's going to act, but I'm just saying the look that has been chosen, if that's the look they're going with, I don't like it.
Well, the picture that they go with him with clothes on, I thought looked much better. And of course, I mean, it's the way that it should be. The ha 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 should be written on a wall. He should be in his purple suit, the purple gloves. It looks kind of like him. So, I don't know. We'll see. It wasn't fantastic. But, that's the thing, too, is I don't understand how these companies put out these pictures without saying, hey, let's get some common day people to take a look and say, hey, is this a picture that makes sense to you?
Yeah, they're called focus groups.
Well, no, it's what it's called. It's called fucking big egos that these Hollywood people have.
Do some focus groups.
Yeah, do some. Well, it's an easy focus group too. You go out to any fucking comic book store and show the picture to people.
Yeah, what do you think of this?
Yeah, what do you think about this? It looks kind of dumb. All right, we won't use that. But whatever. I mean, that's the thing. There's a whole bunch of egos out there in Hollywood. They think they can just throw anything out and we'll be so amazed by it. Sometimes it hits. Most of the time it doesn't hit right. But then again, we've eaten crow about a bunch of other stuff, especially when it comes to people, obviously now, playing the Joker. I mean, in essence, there hasn't been anybody playing a bad Joker, right? No.
I mean, Jack Nicholson's not great.
People love Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
I know they do, but go back. I say to those people, go back and watch the movie.
Yeah, now with your 2015 mentality.
Yeah. Go back and watch it with your 2015 eyes because it doesn't hold up.
Seeing him fop and fart in the library.
It doesn't hold up.
Yeah. Prince playing in the background and him flopping.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I used to love that movie too, and it used to be like
it's got great visuals.
It was that thing where I was always like, "That's my favorite Batman film. That's my favorite Batman film." Until I went back and watched it, and I went, "It doesn't hold up as well as it used to." No. Now there are things in it I still love and that I still think look great. But it's not what it once was in my mind.
Right.
So it's just not. And if you have a great vision of it, I say hold on to that. Don't go back and watch the movie.
Yeah, don't go back and watch the
Just hold on. If you really, really loved it, hold on to what you loved because it's still like that in your mind. If you're adamant that he's the best Joker ever, you may need to rewatch it just to reevaluate.
What did they get a load of me?
Oh, that's a good reminder to go ahead and silence our cell phones. We're real professional at Go 8 Podcast.
One of us is.
Is your phone silenced?
It is.
Let's be honest.
You want to see the symbol?
Yep.
You want to see the symbol?
There's a lot of symbols on the top of your screen.
There's one symbol right there. See?
But that's an incredible amount of shit at the top of your screen.
You can see it right there.
That looks like my fucking like Windows tray on Windows that's operating.
That's an Android phone for you.
My iPhone has a battery that's about dead.
Very
That's what
simple.
it's got.
It's for simpletons.
All right.
Anything else happened? I thought there was another trailer or something that came out, or something that we need to talk about. There's a full Fantastic Four trailer again.
I haven't seen that.
I saw it. It shows better versions of them. It looks like the Thing like breaks out of like he's almost like he's in like a cocoon of rock, and he like shows him breaking out of his rock cocoon.
This is the Thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it shows Reed Richards. He can stretch. It shows all their abilities, but it shows Doctor Doom. And now this is going to be another rant from me. Okay. Just make Doctor Doom's mask look the way it does in the comic book. Is that too much to ask, Jonathan? Please, I'm asking you this. Is that too much to ask? With the bolts, does he not have bolts in his mask?
I mean, he kind of has like rivets,
Okay,
but
rivets. Does he have rivets in his mask?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Why can't they fucking do that in these movies? He's got one of these like burned, like smashed, mashed in metal pieces for his face. And I'm just like, just make him the way he looks. Why is that so difficult for these movies to do? We've dealt with this time and time again. Even the movie that we just saw.
Let's not judge it. You might eat crow.
Well, about how he looks?
That's what we're judging Jared Leto.
Yeah, but he still kind of looks like the Joker. It's not like he didn't have...
I gotta be honest, I haven't seen Dr. Doom, so I don't even know what he looks like. I haven't seen that trailer.
He doesn't have rivets on his face. I want the rivets. I don't think we got him in the last movies, too, did we?
Yes, I believe he did.
I thought he had some sort of just like rickety mask.
I thought, if I recall, now I have them in there. I have not watched them, but I do have them on Blu-ray. Those first two, Fantastic Four from 20th Century Fox. I feel like the way he looked in those movies, I was okay with.
Yeah, I was somewhat okay with.
I feel like I was okay with it, but I don't know. I'd have to go back and see.
My problem with him is that he had like a little P voice. He was just like a little guy behind. Hey, what's that? I wanted like a big, powerful voice, but other than that, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else going on, but we do have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that we just watched. I guess we'll go ahead and get into that.
Should we for the people who may not make it to the end of this podcast because they dropped dead from hearing about this terrible film?
Yeah.
Should we go ahead and tell them what we're going to review next? Our next thing.
Sure. We had
there was a lot of suggestions thrown around this week.
There were.
We finally came up with a serious suggestion. Credit goes to Joe, whatever his last name is, Joe Schmo. I don't know his last name.
Joe Grimm.
Joe Grimm. There we go.
Yeah.
I did know it.
Yeah.
So it goes to Joe Schmo. He threw out because Mad Max Fury Road is coming out next month. Mm-hmm. We should review the Mad Max films before that.
And that's what we're going to do. Yeah.
So next, it will be the Mad Max trilogy.
It makes sense because I'm a big Mad Max fan. It'll be kind of like my picks. Everybody knows, I enjoy post-apocalyptic stuff. So we'll start with Mad Max, and then Road Warrior, then Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
With Tina Turner.
Yes. It's...
Like I said, I know I have seen the second and third one several times. Mm-hmm. The first one I don't remember. If I've seen the first one, it's probably been one time I've ever seen it.
Okay, well, if you've forgotten a lot about it, then you'll...
I'm sure I have.
Be fun to go back and watch it. So that's what we're going to be doing after this, and then it'll be John's pick after that. Now, has anything else been happening with you, or anything we need to discuss, or we can just throw that on the backside and get to this?
No, nothing else really much going on. I'm very excited. Next week's the NFL draft. So that's a good thing for me. I'm sure my Dolphins will F it all up.
Oh, yeah.
As is our want.
Panthers will trade not that I care about the Panthers anymore, but I always like to see them now being their debauchery that it is.
Just to recap for our fans, you're a big Jacksonville Jaguars fan.
Jacksonville Jaguars
Born in the womb.
Born in the womb Jacksonville Jaguars
Now,
fan.
this may be confusing if you're skipping around episodes. Yeah. He was, last year he was born in the womb Raiders fan. And the year before that, New York Jets fan.
I'm reborn many times, much like the Phoenix.
Yes, and now you've been reborn.
Fiery. I'm a fiery
reborn
Phoenix.
From the fiery swamps of Florida. You are now a Jacksonville Jaguar fan.
That is true. So we'll see how they do.
So much luck to you and your Jaguars.
Yeah, should be good.
I think you have a pretty high pick.
Yep.
I don't think they finished that great last year.
No, they were terrible.
I think they have like one of the first three.
Well, the Jacksonville's terrible too.
Yeah, they're real bad. All right, so let's get into this movie.
Well, first we're going to get into the movie. So we have looked at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that came out in 1990. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Secret of the Ooze.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze.
That was in 1991.
Yeah, it came out a year later.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Yep. No subtitle, except when you look at it on like digital services, it does say Turtles in Time, but that was never part of the title.
No. Then last week we looked at TMNT.
Yep.
2007.
Correct.
And now this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014.
No, it's just Ninja Turtles, isn't it?
No, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. It just has the Ninja Turtles for some reason extremely large. And again, I believe that's for foreign, countries.
Okay.
Because the Ninja Turtle, that's what it was in France.
Okay.
Tortue Ninja. We spoke about that.
I wonder if it said Hero Turtles real big in England. Hero Turtles.
Stupid. So this was the thing. Jonathan had already seen this movie in the theater.
I did.
He saw it the day it came out.
Yeah, probably.
He ran out of the house to see it and practically forgot his clothes. And just ran down the street. He didn't even get in the car to go see the movie.
Well, the theater's only 2 blocks over.
2 blocks away. So he ran to it in just a absolute just tizzy to see the film. And you were not pleased with what you saw. Jesus, you were not pleased.
No, I didn't care for the film. I checked out pretty early, actually, in it.
Right. So this has been a film that he's seen for a long time, and I haven't seen, and I'm wanting to see. And obviously, I heard how polarizing the film has been to some people because, it made a pretty decent amount of money. I guess you can touch that.
Yeah. The budget of the film, I believe, if I recall my numbers, were $131 million budget to make the film.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, domestically, it only made like $193 million. So you're talking like $62 million profit, which isn't great, honestly, by Hollywood standards. Now, worldwide, it pulled in like 485 million, somewhere in there.
Right. Because it's got fans in Europe and other places, obviously. Now, for me going into this film, I wanted to make sure that it had several criteria.
Can I pause you right there?
Okay.
They've greenlit a sequel, and they did announce this week Tyler Perry will be in the sequel. Playing Baxter Stockman.
Possibly so.
And Stephen Amell from Arrow playing Casey Jones.
That's the boy that you like.
I don't like either of them.
Okay.
Continue. Several criteria you needed for this film.
Yes. One is, are they actually going to be portrayed as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Okay.
Are they heroes?
Okay.
Are they in a half shell? And are they green?
All right.
I think so, right? It got all those criteria. So far, this is a Turtles movie in all regards.
Okay.
Does Leonardo lead in this film? Kind of.
Yeah, I guess.
Does Donatello do machines? Yes.
Not really. He's just on a computer.
He's got that like hologram thing, and they're like he set up this thing like the warning system for the van.
All right.
Donatello does machines. He needs to see the movie again. Raphael is it cool but rude or cool but crude?
Rude.
I didn't think he was that rude in the movie.
That's a strike. Though.
I didn't think he was.
It's a miss.
And then Michelangelo, does he like social engagements? Does he like to party?
Social engagements. Did he ever party in the film? He never really partied.
No, he really didn't party. Splinter taught them to be ninjas.
From a book. We know how well that worked for the Karate Kid. When he learned karate from a book.
That kind of makes him a radical rat.
Okay.
Your face. So, in essence, the only thing I'll say just before we touch this is that I think that, where was the whole Leo Raphael fight? I didn't see one.
They kind of shoved each other a little bit when they first met April.
It's nothing. That's not much of a deal.
I really don't know which way you're going with this.
Just making sure it's got all the criteria. Shredder shows up. At any point when they fought Shredder, did they give him any, slack or pull any of their punches?
So let me get this straight. Your entire criteria for the film is based on the theme song for the cartoon? Is that what we're doing here?
That's correct.
Okay.
I think it got it.
Okay.
I like how you're understood kind of what I was going for, but
I got it a long time ago, but I just wanted to reiterate for our fans.
All right, well, starts off. It's got a cartoon intro. It's computer generated.
It's comic booky.
But you liked it, you said.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I thought it was all right, actually.
It's voiced over by Splinter, that we find out is by, what's his first name?
Tony Shalhoub.
Tony Shalhoub.
I put Splinter, played by Monk.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right.
I thought that his voice was not great.
Okay.
I thought it was way too human sounding. He took his normal voice and just kind of gave it just a slight little edge to it.
A little bit of gravelly.
And I would have wanted him to go way gravel and a little bit of his normal voice.
Yeah, it very much sounded like himself. I like the fact that he didn't try to do an Asian accent to make him Asian, because there was no reason for that in this film.
Even though apparently he's a big fan of it, the way he was dressing and looking.
But you agree with that, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
there was nothing to denote that he was ever Asian or to tie him to that. So there was no reason to do that, which I'm glad they didn't do that just for the sake of doing it.
Tie him into doing it? Get it? Okay, I said voice needs more rat. That's what I said.
Okay.
He's telling a story about the Foot and Shredder.
Your notes are going to be detailed. I see this coming.
Well, I had to. You said that I was the only one going to be doing notes. Pretty much.
Well, I took a good bit of notes.
That's not bad. That's respectable.
I mean, I took a good bit of notes, but I'm just saying, it was hard for me. This was a hard night for me.
Okay. There's a scene where they're playing Fruit Ninja with their weapons, showing them get their weapons.
Yeah.
And the movie starts off proper with down at the docks.
Yep.
You've got April O'Neil, played by Megan Fox.
Yep.
And she plays April O'Neil. I would say she's a main character in this film.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She's trying to get some details from a guy. I put April struggles to write details with toe thumbs.
Now, granted, she only has one toe thumb.
Really?
Yeah, it's only one.
Well, okay, fine, but still, maybe it was on her writing hand. So
I don't know what it was. I did know that they work extra overtime not to show that thing.
Okay.
They didn't want kids running out of the theater screaming. There's been an attack on workers down by the docks, and the goons stole some chemicals that she knows are used in biogenetics.
You know, Johnny used to work at the docks.
Ooh.
Sorry.
I like it. That was pretty good. I was not expecting it. So this is going to be her big story, but instead, her and a guy named Vern, who's like her cameraman.
Her cameraman.
Vern, played by Will Arnett.
Yep, he's funny.
We enjoy him.
Yeah.
He's been in some funny shows that we liked. But instead, she's now doing a piece on exercising. And guess what she wants, Jonathan? She wants the big story. What? A reporter that wants the big story?
Dude, this is an original plotline. Okay.
Super cliched.
I put April reports on bird workout as this guy.
Yeah.
This
Birds,
guy basically says that birds are the only animals that are never out of shape. He's like, I've seen fat cows, I've seen fat pigs. You never seen a fat bird. Which I would argue penguins are pretty fat.
But they have to stay fat, I guess, oil and stuff for...
I'm just saying I spotted a fat bird. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, there's a fat bird.
So he does a bird workout, and then I put Megan Fox's face looks stretched on her skull. Mm-hmm. She looked real weird to me in this movie. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think she looked the way she normally looks for me, but
okay.
I think she's getting up there in years. I'm not exactly sure how old she is, but...
I think she's like 55.
I think more importantly on her was how her makeup kept...
She couldn't drive that fast either.
No, she couldn't. Her makeup stays on pretty well throughout this whole movie. I was very impressed by that. Her lipstick and stuff, even at the very end, with all the stuff she'd gone through. Yeah. I was like, whoa, that lipstick's killer.
Yeah.
So she Skypes. Here's one of our first product placements of this movie. She Skypes with the guy down at the dock, and he's like, how the hell did you get my number? Not only my number, my Skype number.
Yeah, my Skype name.
Yeah, my Skype name and stuff. No questions asked about that. He asked it and then no answers given. And he's like, look, if you want some more information, go see my guy Stan back at the docks.
He'll answer whatever you got.
Yeah, and she's on a bike, like with a helmet and stuff.
She's pedaling all over New York City. That's how she's staying in shape.
And that's also how she's getting scooped down on the street level. You see what I'm saying? She's connected to the streets of New York City. So back at the docks, she comes across, it's nighttime now. Uh-oh, there's something going on in the docks.
Yep.
The Foot are stealing more chemicals. They crave chemicals, do they not?
They are anything but ninjas, this Foot Clan.
Oh, no, they're not ninjas.
There's no ninjas in this film.
Well, I don't think they even recognize them in the movie as that, do they? They just call them the
Nope,
Foot Clan.
they just call them the Foot Clan.
And they say that the Foot Clan because they step over the people that they've knocked down or killed or something.
Now, yet, they're still headed up by Shredder, who's a ninja.
Is he?
And Karai is in the film, although they never call her Karai, I think, the entire film.
Don't want to muddle you down with names.
But she's kind of a ninja, but again, I think she's using guns too. Like, they're the gun clan. They're gun clan.
Yeah, they're half-assing it.
Yeah.
And that is a beef I have with the film, but I'll discuss it at the end. So she tries to record them with her camera phone, and it says that she has low light.
Your phone does that a lot when you shoot video,
stops
right?
you. It says, no. There's not enough light here. We need to get a good
And
video.
it says it just like flashes on the screen like it would like an old like camcorder you used to have back in the day.
Yeah, low light. We won't let you record anything. So that's a bit of a plot pusher. The Foot are assaulted and assailed by an unseen attacker.
Yep.
Who proceeds to kick sea containers. I'm going to say kick. I guess that's what he did.
Or perhaps lift it and threw it.
Sea containers are extremely heavy.
Well, he's very strong. We saw that later. We saw how strong he was. We'll get into that.
I guess so.
That's a problem all the way around.
Sea containers are, oh man, they're huge. But he
Dude,
tossed
I bench press 2 every morning in my backyard.
Okay, that's true. I did see them back there.
Okay. You
so
see them?
Yep.
Sea containers?
The Foot are assailed by the unseen attacker. They bugger off after getting their asses kicked by this guy. April misses taking the picture of the guy. He's able to take off quick.
Yep.
Was that Leo who did that, you think? Or was that Raph?
That was Raph.
Okay. But she does see some Japanese symbol that's been left on the trailer, possibly by this vigilante.
Yeah. I put leaves behind graffiti in blood, question mark? Like, what the fuck was it?
I guess he grabbed blood from the dudes and did that.
I guess.
Or he spray painted it real quick.
Okay.
I'm like, my thing is like...
I don't know how he did that. When he did that.
Why are they doing that? Family. And then we find out later on that symbol says family. Why?
Well, I don't want to get into it now, but that's the first, last, and only time you'll really hear mention of that in the entire film.
I don't know why they did. Yeah.
Like, they never expand on it. They never say why he's graffitiing family up on stuff.
It's dumb.
It is completely stupid. It was like they put it in, and they were like, oh yeah, we forgot to tie this to something later in the film.
Don't worry about it.
It's really dumb.
Children will be watching this movie, so we won't worry
It's
about it.
bad. So yeah, that's something I was going to go over later, but yeah, it's stupid.
April goes home and tells a friend who's slack-jawed pretty much at what she's talking about.
Yeah, her roommate.
Yep. Whoopi Goldberg heads up her Channel 6 News that she works at.
Yep, she's the news director.
All her co-workers are laughing at her when she tries to tell them about the vigilante.
Correct.
She shows the symbol to Whoopi, but Whoopi's not buying it.
Yeah, she's like, I know you didn't come here without any pictures or anything to actually back this up.
And again, I don't know why they got Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, she must not charge too much now, any days.
She's an EGOT.
Yeah. And she, two scenes? She was in 2 scenes?
Yep, 2 scenes in the whole film.
So, yeah, she's not buying it. And then it shows Channel 6 doing some sort of puff piece about this company called Saks Industries. Is it Sack or Saks, plural?
Saks.
We'll watch it again. Saks Industries.
Yep.
Nut sacks. Ball sacks is what I said.
Saxy boy.
Ball sack. Yeah, I got Saxy boy written down a bunch. It talks about them making some deal with the city to protect the city or some trash.
Sure.
Some such. There's some sort of dojo fight in the dark with a big dude. He beats a guy's ass. And it come to find out this is Shredder.
Yeah, and how tall would you say Shredder is? 7 feet?
12 feet 5.
Okay, yeah, that's common in Japan to have somebody that tall.
I don't think that's common really anywhere. Anywhere.
It's common in the NBA. I mean,
tall.
he's not an NBA player, so aside from that, I mean,
It's rare. It's rare. Let's say it's rare.
He's very tall.
Yeah, he's
it's
very tall.
Incredible.
Face is very scarred up.
Yeah, I put Shredder at Monisha's Karai. He looks like a scarred penis.
Okay.
He's completely bald headed. His face looks all scarred up. Mm-hmm. I mean, he got like he's a scarred up penis. That's what he was.
Yeah. He starts off speaking Japanese to her. She responds in English. Obviously, she can speak Japanese. Don't know why either of these two are speaking different languages.
Yeah, obviously he can speak English because she only responds in English.
And then finally he starts talking in English.
Yeah. Or
it's dumb.
Or did the movie just turn it for us? He's still speaking in Japanese and it's English.
You've got to explain that to me or you look stupid.
The only movie that's ever done that well is 13th Warrior. Where he's listening to all of them at the campfire and it slowly starts to make sense.
Yeah.
And then...
Except the only problem with 13th Warrior I have is that you need to actually like say the words before you actually say them. You know what I mean? Like practice saying them and stuff like that before you just like, I'm going to listen and I'm going to just do it exactly the same way. Replace some more stuff. But it's still, that is a good way of doing the film.
Yeah.
That is a good example of that. Eric Sachs is his name.
Yep.
And he's at a big dinner.
Yep.
Talking to people about his young science days when they got attacked by the Foot at their laboratory. And they lost some people. They lost some of the good scientists that worked there. And now I have here, it's been 15 minutes, and there's no turtles. No turtles in the film whatsoever. Even though they had the attack down by the docks, I didn't see the turtles really actually, or the turtle himself, doing anything.
You saw him for like 2 seconds. On top of the building, and then he's gone.
2 seconds. And it's exactly the same way the first scene from Daredevil starts off. And many other movies as well. But, 15 minutes, no turtles. This was officially where I was like, okay, turtles, please. April goes, she's there at this little get-together. And April talks to Saxy Boy about her dad dying in that attack. So there's a connection between the two. Her dad was a biogenetic engineer, science technician guy. And April keeps on talking a lot about the story. This story. It's always this big story that she's got. Which pretty much just makes her sound like she's a raving lunatic, if you ask me. All of a sudden, people are running out of the subway. Something's gone nuts in the subway. And people are fleeing the subway in vast droves. Right?
Yep.
Now, this is New York City, okay? It would probably take a handful of police officers in the subway system less than a minute to get there. Because there's probably crawling with cops itself.
Well, not to mention, I would think every subway... I mean, I don't know. I don't live in New York. But I got to believe that there's a cop probably on every subway platform. Or at least close by.
Close by. There's tons of cops. But that would stop the plot from going. The Turtles are watching with high-tech Donatello gizmos.
Yeah.
By the way, he did do machines, dude. I mean, he had goggles that he wore the whole time that had human, like, subject human written on the hood.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Like he had tons of technology in that friggin' thing.
We're going to talk about that.
And so, Turtles are watching. They see all these people leaving. April goes into the subway.
Woo, Fred.
Okay.
Mikey was watching Chopstick Cat. Which, I have a problem with this.
There is a reason.
I believe that's one of like the very first ever viral videos ever on YouTube.
It's an old one. It's an old one.
It's like one of the, like, why would they just now be seeing that in 2014?
Kind of dated with some of this stuff that they're talking about.
Yeah,
some of these jokes
Keyboard
dated.
Cat. Like, yeah. I'm like, it's 2014. Why is he just seeing that for the first time?
It's pretty funny. I did laugh.
I would be honest with you. First time I saw it in the theater, I laughed out loud at that too. But it is very outdated.
It's a good movie that we're watching. Okay.
So get out.
April goes into the subway. The Foot Clan's there. It was the Foot Clan that was making this a big attack. I didn't know who it was going to be. She's grabbed by the Foot Clan as she tries to sneak. Her sneaking skill poor. They're taking hostages. They're putting up bombs on the walls. And the Foot Clan, Karai is her name.
Yep.
It's the first time I've ever said that word. Karai is trying to draw out the vigilante. They're like, "We know you're here. Show yourself so we can kill you." April, of course, is there. Like I said, kidnapped. She's recording with her phone. Her phone is an integral part of her journalistic ability.
Daily recordings.
Yep. Subway is coming at them. The turtles the lights get knocked out, and the turtles jump down and kick people's ass in our first fight scene with the turtles.
I guess it's a strobe light fight, so you don't see very much.
It's hard to see exactly everything that's going on, and this is one of my first times, and this is a problem I have throughout the whole film. This cool cinematographer or director, or whoever made the choice for this, he said, "You know what? We're going to do something cool. We're going to take the camera, we're going to shove it down to about shin height, okay? Shin, knee height, and everything will be filmed from this height. All the fight scenes will be down on the ground." I did not care for the way everything was shot like that.
Okay.
Because it was just constantly a panning shot from left to right as people ran at foot length, at foot height. So this is one of the first times we see this big time done out. They escape up some sort of plastic tube, like construction type tube, going to the top of the building.
It shows all the Foot Clan tied up down in the subway.
Yeah.
You have to realize the entire fight and them leaving the scene, the turtles leaving the scene, probably took 30 seconds.
I'll say 12.
Okay, 12 seconds.
12 seconds.
When did they tie up the entire Foot Clan?
Skills.
Okay.
Fast skills.
Okay.
And so she sees the plastic tube. They went up. She runs after them. She heads up to the top of the building where they are talking very loudly.
They're celebrating their fight.
Yep, it's their first fight. Big fight together. She takes a picture. This is that iconic scene that we've seen on the trailers and stuff like that, in which they're frozen from her camera. Raph tries to take the camera from her. She's, of course, startled by what she sees. Leo steps in and asks, "Please." It shows his niceness.
Michelangelo sees April. He can feel his shell tightening.
Yeah, he's getting an erection with his turtle penis.
Stupid. Why is Michelangelo turned on by April?
He likes the way she looks.
Dumb.
She likes the way she's put together.
It's dumb. I also put the turtles are massive.
They are very large. I was
massive.
shocked. Yeah, when she's standing beside them, I was like, "Whoa, these guys are big."
I mean, we're talking. I mean, not exaggerating. They're probably also like 7 or 8 feet tall.
They said they're 6 foot tall turtles.
I mean,
And she's short, I guess. She's short.
Massively built.
Yeah, they're real big, and I didn't hate their size. Like, it made them seem imposing, but it also, I don't know, it kind of took away from some of their karate skill type stuff. You know, they just seem like real big bruisers, especially Raphael. He's fucking huge. And I don't know how he got so different down there. Like, I'm going to do this type of training, you guys do this other type of training.
Just bench presses. He's working out his glamour muscles.
And that's why, I guess why Donatello he's the thinnest one, because he's doing machines the whole time.
Jar Jar Tello, you mean?
Yeah, he did look like Jar Jar Binks, didn't he?
Yes, he did. It looked terrible. In the face, he was very much Jar Jar Binks. We will now call him Jar Jar Tello. And should we talk about their looks? Like, how'd you feel about their faces? I mean, because you've now seen the entire movie. You've seen them. Do you see what I'm talking about? Okay, here's my thing. When I watched the trailer, I had a massive problem with their faces.
Right.
Okay? After watching the movie, I kind of got used to the way they looked.
Sure.
Didn't mind it as much. I didn't think it looked great, but it became like I told you earlier tonight, their look was white noise in comparison to the other problems I had with the film.
Yeah. I don't like the nostrils. At the end of the day, the nostrils are a huge problem with the way they look. So it is on their face, and it's your eye goes to their nostrils every once in a while, or you notice their nostril, or it really frames their face or makes their face different. And now seeing the film, if I don't care for the nostrils at all. Other than that, Donatello, all that stuff on his back, they never explain what any of that shit did. I guess it synced up with his goggles. I don't know. They had a bunch of flair from wherever they worked at Fridays or wherever the
pieces of flair.
What was it? Yeah, was it
Sheckies?
Yeah,
Sheckies?
I don't know what it's called. So they've got a lot of flair on to make themselves individuals. I'm sorry, but Raphael is not a teenager. He's like a 35-year-old dude, like big bruiser guy.
Well, the only one that strikes me as a teenager period is Michelangelo.
Yeah, that's because he's skateboarding and all, making funny jokes and stuff. I mean, their bodies looked okay. Their shells looked pretty cool. Like the back shells, look nice and big, and I like how you could kind of see the edges of them were a different color, kind of like the light was going through the edges of them. They did some good stuff with them, but overall, my main problem with the way that stuff looked was anytime they showed them behind them, I know, we talked about this several times, it's like all fuzzy and blurry, and there's all this bright light behind them. They're down in the sewer, and I don't think I've ever seen such bright light before.
It's lazy CGI work.
It really is. I think that's really what it is.
It's basically, in the scenes, I think what they did, seriously, was when they went back and CGI'd them over the guys who did the motion capture, they deliberately probably just kind of blurred the background so you never had to worry about the details.
Yeah, they'd kind of diluted them so that they would stand crisp, in front of you, because they didn't want them probably contrasting with something that was realistic behind them. But to me, it became real distracting after a while. And there was always like blades of light behind them too, here and there, and it just became frustrating. I hate to say it, almost reminded me of lens flares to a degree, to some point. And I was just kind of like, what is all this like weird ambient bright neon light, like very powerful light behind them? It was just strange to me. But oh well. Back to this action that's going on. April passes out when she sees Michelangelo take off his mask. And then instantly, which I thought was amazing, they instantly tell her who they are and what they are.
Yep.
So this has got to be their first contact with a human. Obviously, it is.
Yeah, because that was their first.
And I guess they were just waiting to really blurt it out, like who they are and what they are. There's a lot of inner gags about how their name sounds stupid. Teenager. There's a bunch of in jokes about stuff in the movie that I guess are funny. Keyboard Cat was probably the funniest thing, I guess, wasn't it? So they all run and jump into a sewer hole in this extremely CGI'd shot.
That goes back to me too. I put the turtles are massive. They slide right into a tunnel. Like, what manhole have you ever seen that was big enough to
not Raphael,
let them in there?
Yeah, not Raphael. He's massive.
So they're going a massive sewer slide.
Very well lit, extremely well lit.
I mean, they're sliding like 360 degrees around the tunnel,
Xbox
going back to their place, and they all somehow they all crash into a hole at the exact same moment. Now, keep in mind, they've been basically 4 in a line going down this slide, yet they all reach the point that they need to bottleneck through at one time, and they get wedged. 3 of them are facing the same direction. Michelangelo's facing towards their feet. He farts.
pepperoni pizza was the culprit.
It's a fart.
It's a fart. All right, so there's a fart in this movie. So we've that's a base. We've got that down covered. Okay, and it was pepperoni pizza. That's the culprit who did the fart.
By the way, while they were on the roof, someone, I think Donatello says Leonardo's name.
Yeah.
Leonardo says Raphael's name.
You're right.
Those two names jog something in April's memory.
We'll find that out later, won't we?
Pretty soon, actually.
Yep. April's back in her apartment, and she gathers up an old video camcorder from when she was younger. I think it said Bluetooth written on it.
I don't know.
I don't think Bluetooth. I don't know.
It wasn't around then.
Yeah. Of hers, and she was as her being a kid reporter. You know, just a little fun kid. She wants to be a reporter. But the video shows her these turtles and a rat that were her pets.
In her dad's lab.
In her dad's lab. Also in the lab is Saxy Boy. Okay? Now, the turtles, they're all marked on their backs with a certain color.
Yep.
We know which colors those are. I've got written here rough. That's what I got written here. Because this is technically the point of the movie where an avid lover of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has his or her first punch in the stomach or nad area, is what I would say.
Nailed it.
Yeah. This is the part of the movie where you go, oh. This is the part where Indiana Jones is mind melding with the Crystal Skull. And you go, oh, this is stupid as shit.
I put April named all the turtles in Splinter. They were hers as a kid. That's where I checked out of the film. In the theater. That's where I went. I'm done.
Not only that, but these turtles and rats, I guess they had the mutagen in them. It let them remember English so that they would remember to call themselves that. Right? That makes sense?
They were baby turtles. And when I say baby turtles, I'm talking like half the size of my palm of my hand.
Yeah.
You know?
She's feeding them pizza, so that's where their craving for pizza comes.
Yeah.
But that's my thing. It's like, I guess they already had the mutagen coursing through their body. It already made them super smart. It made Splinter be able to remember people's names, remember what happens in the lab, remember what their names are, and everything that follows suit. So, we continue on. Right here is where you did note that Donatello looks like Jar Jar Binks. So, TMNT are trying to sneak home, or they'll get in trouble from Master Splinter. And this is going to be the first time you really see Splinter good.
Yep, I got a good note for that, too, when that happens.
Okay, well, it's right now.
All right.
Behind them, Splinter shows up.
Splinter shows up. I put Splinter appears. Looks like garbage. He looks like trash. I hate how he looks in this film.
You don't care for it?
No.
I didn't...
Like I said, why does he look Asian? He's got a Fu Manchu. He's got his hair pulled up, kind of like in a top knot / ponytail. He's
wearing like a
kimono.
Yeah.
Like,
his
why?
tail is super strong. He never uses it again.
No, he does.
Oh, he used it against Splinter. I mean, Shredder.
Well, he used it when the foot busted in, too. Remember? He was fucking them up. But, like, how? How is he controlling his tail like an appendage?
He's very strong. I don't think I've ever seen a rat do that. It's the mutagen.
I don't believe it's possible.
The mutagen. I can see not to that degree. I guess a monkey.
This movie, I'd rather be watching Kangaroo Jack than this movie.
That's a bold claim right there.
I mean, it doesn't matter at this point. Anything could be better than this film at this point.
So major tail attacks against the turtles is had by Splinter as he kicks their ass with his tail.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we have this scene, and this is another one of those scenes that I've got to just say, whoa, that cliche meter just really goes off, where April is frantically placing one of these insane person boards with pictures and drawings and writing.
Let me clear it up for people. I put April goes a beautiful mind on us.
Yeah, she goes a beautiful mind. And I was like, ugh. She's trying to explain it to Whoopi.
Yeah, Whoopi walks in. She's pointing that the symbol that she took a picture of means family. This is the only other time you hear it, and it's never mentioned again. And then I put April is a raving lunatic to her boss.
Yeah, sounds like a crazy person. Is what I got written down. She's
telling her about turtles, that they're mutant ninjas, that they're 6 feet tall, that no one else in the city has seen them but her. She's gone. She's schizophrenic.
You're fired.
Yep, and that's what happened.
You're fired. Like that is what happened.
She's out on the streets.
Yep, she's out on the streets. We will not see Whoopi Goldberg again, thank God.
And Stalker, Vern, a.k.a. Will Arnett, it just happens to be waiting for her right outside the door when she comes out.
Yep, and they're mounting up in the van together.
Yep.
TMNT, that's how I'm going to reference them. TMNT are forced to do extreme dexterity and knitting skills.
For this movie, by the way, I just put NT. Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
By the way, Vern has to drive her to Eric Sachs's house.
That's right.
She basically says, "I'm not going to let it go." He's like, "You need to let this go." She's like, "What would all those great reporters you work with do? Would they have let it go?"
And you already know this movie is fantasy. There is no great reporters out there in the world anymore. They are all shills. They're all shills.
Who was the last great reporter? Who was the last great anchorman? I'm going to say Peter Jennings.
I'm going to say Ron
May he
Burgundy.
rest in peace.
Ron Burgundy is the only.
That's ridiculous. All right, so we cut back to the hashish, whatever that is.
Called? It was
hashish. That's what it was called. That is what it was called.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
It's them being forced to do extreme dexterous things, balancing. Raphael is knitting while he's doing something else.
Yeah, Donatello is bouncing a ping pong ball back and forth
while he's on like a
board that's on a barrel.
Yeah.
You've got Leonardo balancing 2 eggs on chopsticks in each hand while another egg balances on his head. Raphael is knitting while he's balancing on something. And Michelangelo is doing a headstand on basically like a roller rocker chair trying to balance himself. And here we have a Pizza Hut plug. We get several good shots of a Pizza Hut box.
I didn't notice this product placement.
First, Splinter throws the pizza down. We see the side view of Pizza Hut on the side of the box. Then it literally cuts to a top-down view where we see the Pizza Hut logo huge on the top of the box.
Very, very good-looking pizza. This is the epic, legendary 99 cheese pizza. That is
I saw that when I ordered from Pizza Hut the other day. I should have got that. The 99 cheese pizza.
Yeah, we got 99 different types of cheese on here. It is extremely, extremely yearned for by Michelangelo.
Yeah. And Splinter's using this basically to get out of them. Where did you go tonight?
Yeah.
Why weren't you at home?
Yeah.
And all the guys are sticking together. They're like, we're not gonna crack.
And I will say that Raphael knitting, I think that's because Splinter's trying to make Raphael be cool, chilled out. You know what I mean? Be calm.
Be a 60-year-old woman.
Yeah, be a 6-year-old woman.
Or be my 30-year-old sister.
Yeah.
My sister knits, you see.
Okay. So, yeah, Mike finally spills the beans because of the pizza is so delicious. And he, Splinter's rambling off the different types of cheeses to him.
Asiago.
These nuts are...
Cheddar. This is stupid.
Limburger.
By the way, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, a pizza with 99 cheeses on it probably wouldn't taste good.
Oh, it probably tastes terrible. But they love pizza.
And you wouldn't be able to dump for like weeks.
Probably so.
99 cheeses.
Really block you up down below.
99 cheeses.
Real halt on the old goodie.
99 said love cheese.
Okay, so Splinter. So Mike spills the beans about where they've been, and Splinter's like, "Look, April's in grave danger. You need to bring her here. Go get her." April tells Vern about the turtles. Hard to believe, of course. Once again, they're in the snow in the mountains. The mountains are very snowy, Cap Mountains.
Yeah, they're going to Eric Sachs' estate. I put quotes right outside the city.
I guess.
I mean, it looks like they had to have driven for hours to get to wherever they are.
Maybe some of our many New York City listeners can tell us where they could drive to where they would find such mountainous snow-capped peaks.
At a fucking castle way up in the mountains, but yet just a stone's throw away from a sewer that'll lead you all the way back to the city.
It's a plot device.
So I put, they travel all the way there to talk to him, not even knowing if he's there. I mean, think about it.
It's bold.
A guy like Eric Sachs, who is over this mega corporation,
I guess.
All right. Very busy man, obviously. He's getting honored by the city.
Yeah.
He's all over the news. He's doing stuff with the mayor.
Sexy boy.
What are the odds he's at home and not doing something for work?
Yep.
And you're just going to travel to his house. Keep in mind, this is the middle of the day because April was at work and she got fired and then just drove straight there.
Yeah.
So this is the middle of the day. Like,
she took a chance.
He's probably at home.
It was a gamble.
So she goes there.
Maybe she called up.
She goes there. She didn't. She buzzes the gate. April and Neil to see Eric Sachs. Gate opens right up. Because that's how it really happens in real life. Like if I went...
Who are you?
I'm going to go to Ozzy Osbourne's house, buzz the door. Sharon, I'd like to speak to Ozzy, please. Oh, come right in.
Jon Randall is my name. Yes, you may. Why did you pick Ozzy Osbourne?
Because I remembered he had a gate on his house from the Osbournes. All right.
The Osbournes. Sharon! Jeez. That seems like decades ago, doesn't it? Rats to that show. So, yeah, she's trying to tell...
Splinter to that show.
Yeah. She's trying to tell Saxy Boy about everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
And asks about Project Renaissance. Okay. She shows Sax the picture she took of the turtles, because right when they left, she was able to take one last little picture of them. They did erase her phone.
Right.
But she was able to get one last grab of them.
As they were running away.
Sax decides to show her a big mural with some backstory.
I got to interrupt you here. Project Renaissance. Now, one of two things is happening here.
This is a coincidence that they're named after Renaissance.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Either she's the most intelligent 7-year-old ever
She is.
and knew Renaissance artists to name them all that, and they happen to be in a project called Renaissance, or the parents, after she somehow named them after these artists that she would not have known about at the age of 7, decided to just call the Project Renaissance.
In Project Renaissance has nothing to do with the men that of the Renaissance. It has to do with this feudal Japan war that took place.
This is all stupid.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So he tells her that he was born in Japan. Her old dad didn't come. His dad didn't come back.
Okay.
Fought in World War II.
Right.
Tells her some story about some old Japanese warlord and how he poisoned everybody. Some guy made some sort of cure-all, and they're trying to remake that cure-all by making a healing mutagen to self-repair on a cellular level.
Huh.
And it would save people from biological attack should one happen to the city.
Huh. I wrote blah, blah, blah. Eric Sachs' Japanese backstory. He works for the Foot.
Yeah.
That's what I put.
Yeah.
He found a Japanese master while he was over there.
Correct. At this point of the movie, I've written down in my notes, this movie is about April O'Neil. That's what I've written.
That's funny because I wrote mutagen, quote, self-repair, Spider-Man story. This is the first time we are stealing the plot of 2012's Amazing Spider-Man film.
Correct.
In which Kirk Connors wants to get the serum that Peter Parker's dad made, basically, in order to basically be able to use a lizard's DNA to regenerate his arm.
Correct.
And to cure, like, whatever the hell was wrong with Harry Osborn's dad. So this is the first visible sign of where we are stealing from Amazing Spider-Man. And you may say, it's just a coincidence. You'll see more.
Yeah, you'll see more.
We'll continue.
The movie is now about April O'Neil.
Yep.
It has been for quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
So it's got April on a computer. She's looking up vigilantes. And all of a sudden her PC is like hacked, I guess.
I'm a hacker.
Yeah, he's a hacker, much like the girl from Jurassic Park. It tells her to meet them alone at a certain place and time.
Donatello, by the way.
Yes,
he's the hacker.
He does machines.
Yep.
And another example of that. So she's snatched by them.
Okay.
And taken down into the sewer.
You skip something here.
Okay.
Turtles meet with April. I put retinal scan, ? They do a retinal scan on her.
More machines.
Okay, fine. Donatello goes, initiate retinal scan. April O'Neil checks out. First of all, who do you think it is, dipshit? Second of all, what are you matching this retinal scan to?
He's got a data bank.
Where does he have where has she stored her fucking retinal scan? Where has she ever worked to have that happen?
I don't know. He made this shit up. He wanted to show it off.
Yeah, there's been some shit made up, alright? It's called the entire plot of this movie.
He's been working on this
all
shit.
The plot devices.
He's got to show why he's so thin and spindly. And
Jar Jar Tello.
Yeah, Jar Jar Tello has got to show his machines.
This movie's garbage. Continue.
Okay. She's snatched, and she's presented by a wall of boomboxes and Splinter. The wall of boomboxes looks cool, but it's very wasteful, in my opinion.
Yeah, you never does anything with it.
Nope. She sees Splinter, and it's switchly quick, so it changes over to Sax talking to Shredder. So they're in cahoots.
Yeah. This is where you officially find that out.
Yeah. Tells him that the vigilantes are the turtles they used to have, and that they lost in the fire. Alright. So this is kind of like Shredder's the guy who took him under his wing, I guess, or something.
Yeah, he was the master that took him in Japan.
And the Foot Clan scanned the sewers.
Do you know how they did that? I didn't know if you actually caught that.
The card.
Yeah. He gives her a business card.
He gives her a business card.
Which basically says, anytime you need me, you call me. We need to work on this. Try to get the turtles in so we can get this mutagen. And basically that card had a homing device in it, which led the Foot Clan to April and them in the sewers.
Correct.
April is being told the story from Splinter's point of view of the night of the fire.
Correct. about the time that they destroyed the lab after finding out Shredder's plan.
Yeah, her father basically tore the lab up and set it ablaze.
Like, she's the one that saved the turtles and the rat.
I got a problem with that.
She's a hero. This movie's about her.
First of all, why is April in the lab that late? She's a 7-year-old kid. Her father's gone to the lab specifically to destroy the lab and set it ablaze. Why is she there?
Plot.
All right, let's continue with my line of questioning. And why why would a child save her pets instead of her father, who was collapsed on the floor from basically smoke inhalation? What 7-year-old kid do you know would go, well, my dad's a loss. Let me go get my turtles and rat. I mean, most children, I believe, would basically be crying over that person's body, trying to wake them up.
Yeah.
April was like, "Fuck my dad, I'm out.
I'm saving what I can." This guy's a law. He's gone for. He's done for.
I got all kinds of problems with this movie.
He's worm food. So she saved them, and now the turtles they bow to her when they found that out. And I've got here, why is Splinter Japanese? That makes no sense. It shows them training and whatnot. This is the backstory. It shows them as babies and as kids, and shows them growing up big. This is the whole flashback thing, and we see juvenile kid turtles.
Okay,
they're abhorrent.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
They're vomit to look at, is what they are. And it shows them playing some sort of hopping game, which they hop on top of one another's backs.
Mm-hmm.
Bug or something like
that. Buck, I think. For bucket.
I don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah.
Splinter finds a book on how to be a ninja.
Yeah, the art of ninjutsu. Just laying in the sewers.
Heroes are born, is what I have next. That's now what they are. As they're training, it shows them training, weapons, getting weapons, and he's like, a katana for you, Leonardo. I'm like, yeah, you know how many those katanas get flushed
discarded.
Out?
They're discarded.
Extremely, pristine katanas. Here you are, sir. Once again, the sewers are very bountiful for us in our ninjutsu seeking abilities. Turtles find out April saved them. They bow to her. And then you see Shredder. He's being shown the Shredder armor that Saxy Boys made for him. And he says, tonight I dine on turtle soup.
Yeah. And going back to the flashback real quick, I had multiple things wrong with the kid turtles. For one, them dancing to Hollow Back Girl by Gwen Stefani.
Did enjoy that part.
Raphael carving an entire wooden block in seconds to be a turtle basically in the crane position from the Karate Kid.
You should be mass producing these and making lots of money off of them.
By the way, size don't have edges, so I don't know how he carved up a whole wooden block.
He's so strong, they makes an edge.
Or got an entire wood block down there. And learning ninjutsu from a book and becoming a master.
Discarded. It was discarded in the sewer.
All bad. This is all bad. These are all bad things.
So, he tells them that Sax and Shredder are working together. Splinter does.
Yeah.
No idea how he knows this.
Yeah. I don't know how he knows who Shredder is, period.
Agreed.
There's no... Shredder was never in the lab with Sax and April's dad.
Didn't show it.
How does he even know who Shredder is? How does he even know the name Shredder? That's never covered.
I don't know.
But it gets better. So during this little talk, some alarms start going off. And basically what it is it's the alarm system Jar Tello has set up because the foot is about to bust in on them. They're in the sewers and they're getting close to the fortress. All of a sudden, you see the foot lay a couple of C4 explosives on the walls. You see Splinter yell, get back from the walls. The walls explode. All hell breaks loose.
Foot attacks is what I got written.
Yeah.
They use guns and bombs, which suck. I'm going to say that now. The Foot Clan neither look cool in this movie, nor do they act cool.
Yep.
They don't use any type of... They're not ninjas, which makes them balls. Their bullets, from the first bullet to the last bullet, do nothing to the turtles.
Yeah, no. They all bounce off.
Yeah. Because they all aim right at their shells.
Now, I will say this. Splinter kicks the shit out of some of these foot.
Yeah.
And there was one really cool scene, I thought, where he basically gets like two guys down on the ground and he leaps on top of them and he just starts pummeling their fucking faces.
Yeah.
Which does look pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So there is some decent fighting in this scene. Mm-hmm. But it's not enough to save anything.
I would actually say that this has got some of the best fighting in any movie that we've seen because of scenes like that.
Yeah. I'll give you that. And this is, to me, this is the best fight scene in the whole movie.
Oh, yeah. Pretty good. There's weird lighting all throughout this fight.
Yeah.
That was distracting.
And more knee-high camera.
Yeah, knee-high camera, tons of knee-high camera. If it was a knee-high drink, I'd be a lot better off, to be honest.
No, I'm sorry. It wasn't knee-high drinks. It was Crush. That's the product placement that Michelangelo is always drinking orange Crush.
Yeah, lots of product placement. This is a Michael Bay-produced vehicle.
And Michelangelo in this scene will even mention orange Crush. So
I believe he has a fila.
He has a stash.
On his bottom of his foot, it says fila on the bottom of his foot.
Did it? I never noticed that.
When he's kicking Shredder in the face and it slows down later on, you can see the fila logo.
Shut up. I didn't even notice that. That's ridiculous.
So yeah, it is a good fight scene.
Shredder shows up.
Enter the Shredder.
Splinter sees him and literally says, Shredder. How do you know who this is?
He just got that armor.
No kidding. Like, first of all, it's a dude in armor that has it's not like the old Shredder mask. This is a straight full mask over the face. Like, you don't know who's inside that. You don't even know who Shredder is if he wasn't in that.
Rat intuition.
I don't understand how
intuition.
he knew Shredder.
Rat intuition is what I'm gonna call it. I've got Shredder versus Splinter! Exclamation.
All right.
It's very hard to tell what's going on in certain of these fight scenes. Okay, I had some difficulty keeping up. Leo gets stunned with some like stun stick type things, and they're all fighting. There's a big fight melange, and it's pretty good. April hits Shredder with a sigh during their battle between Splinter and Shredder.
Yeah.
There's too much light down here in this whole scene. It's absurd. And Splinter doesn't want the turtles to come in because he's afraid that they'll be killed by Shredder. So he locks. There's like he does some.
He hits something, that makes basically like portcullises come down over some sewer drainage pipes, so they can't get into the main area where he's fighting Shredder.
More plot.
Yeah.
Splinter is beaten by Shredder.
Yeah.
And he pretty much says, drop your weapons or Splinter gets it. Not one of those types of deals. Right?
Do we want to touch on how Shredder shot the blades out of his arms?
Yeah.
And
then he
used like an electromagnet on his arms to pull the blades back into their places.
Yeah.
They were fighting over a huge metal sewer grate.
Okay.
And he turned on electromagnets.
The only thing I can think of is...
Why didn't he just fall straight to the ground?
Well, the only thing I can think of is that maybe the type of metal has a certain type of magnetic ability to it that only...
Stop trying to save this movie.
I don't know. I did think of that as well, but I was like, well, maybe it's like meteor iron or something came from the space. I don't know. So yeah, he can shoot these blades out and he can bring them back.
And not only that, but when they're coming back, how does he determine that the pointed end is not the end coming back at it?
The end is the only part that...
And they're going to go in straight to the slots.
I don't know.
Nothing makes sense in this movie.
No. The music in this scene is incredibly dramatic, as Splinter pretty much eats it. Right? Yeah. He gets beat up by Shredder pretty bad. They decide to destroy the place. Raph is not captured as debris is knocked on top of him.
Yep.
They can't find him.
They think he's dead.
Yep. April sees them being taken away. All the turtles are being taken away. That's Leonardo, Michelangelo, Jar Tello.
Yep.
All three of them are being taken away. Splinter is left for dead. Raph gets up out of his destroyed rock little thing he's in. He comes and helps. And this is when it switches back to Saxy Boy.
Yep.
They've got them... I guess they're bringing them in, and he's talking to his scientists, and he says, which is in essence the quote of the film.
Yep.
The major quote of the film.
He says, all these turtles have mutagen in their bloodstream.
Yep.
And I believe the exact quote was, as I think I put it here.
Well, I read it.
We will drain every last ounce of the blood to get it, even if it kills them.
Well, Mr. Scientist, there's something. I'm going to clue you in on something, and I'm no scientist. You should probably be taught this some other school, but maybe like in elementary school. Blood is what you need to live. You need blood in your body.
And if you drain every ounce of it,
it kills you.
I put brilliant writing.
It's incredible. It is a very laughable moment, and I do believe you laughed in the theater.
I laughed out loud in the theater.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only person who laughed out loud in the theater at that, but I died laughing in the theater when I heard that.
Splinter tells Raphael to go save his brothers. April calls Vern. He's in his house. He's listening to Careless Whisper.
He's rocking some Careless Whisper.
It's a fantastic scene. April says that she needs him.
And he's like, whoa, you called me. She hangs up. He's like, all right,
okay,
I'll play your game.
Yep, he shows up. April tells Vern what happened. About the turtles and the fight and the Foot Clan and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he still doesn't believe it. He's like, you gotta really let this turtle bullshit go.
Yeah, they're in his van. Raphael pops his head up.
Yeah.
Yells something at him, get going or something, scares him.
Drive.
And he says, "You're a huge turtle." He says, "Yeah, well, you're a human nerd or something." "Yeah, I'm a big turtle and you're a human nerd." I did laugh, thought it was funny. And he's like, "Well, I don't think I've ever been called a nerd before," or something. That was funny.
Yeah.
But
they race to Sax's estate.
Yeah, and the turtles are in cells at Saxy Boy's place.
Yep.
What I got written down here. This Sax shows the turtles how he has stuff ready to go that will be pumped into the air of the city, and he will heal everybody with the mutagen they have inside their body, and it'll make him rich, like stupid rich.
He says stupid rich.
Yeah, he says, "I'll make us like stupid rich." So I just love how he's like, it's just like that old Batman type thing where he's going to tell the heroes what he's going to do to save the day. For them to save the day later on.
Number one, this again is more Spider-Man plot. He says that they're going to release the chemical basically from a radio tower type antenna on the top of a building, which is exactly what Kirk Connors tried to do in Spider-Man.
But his difference is he's going to sell the fix. He's going to sell the cure to this.
Yeah, he's going to let everybody get infected just so he can sell the cure to the city to become stupid rich. Dude, you live in a fucking castle.
You get a helicopter like in your backyard.
You're already stupid rich. Like, this is more just... This is more stupidity to me for the film.
Yeah, it really is more stupidity.
Which, I guess, honestly, though, we're about to find out in a few minutes that even though he lives in a castle, it's not quite a finished castle. There's a lot of open warehouse space.
Yeah, there's a lot of strange warehouse space.
Inside the castle.
Let's just think about the movie for a brief second. I mean, if they had remade this movie and it didn't show him being as rich, and they showed the Foot Clan being more ninja-like, okay, without the guns and stuff, they could have made this movie completely the same. Don't show him so rich. Show him with some of the technology that he still has from the laboratory. The Foot Clan actually use kicks and punches and shurikens and stuff like that. You've got the same movie, but it makes much more sense.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to be that rich.
Make him live in like a fucking nice like apartment, like penthouse, like at the top of a building.
But nothing like ridiculous, like out
not
here.
like a fucking castle out in the middle of the Catskills.
And it would have been exactly the same movie and much more palatable. You know what I'm saying? Much more palatable. Even if he had a helicopter for him to get away later on like he does.
Yeah, and not only that, like, you don't need the lab to be inside of your home.
Yeah.
You own, like, he named off 3 things. He named off, like, Sax Robotics, Sax Defense, something, and, like, Sax, like...
Go-karts, I think.
Pharmaceuticals or something. Like, your lab could just be in one of your buildings. It doesn't have to be inside your house.
He didn't need any of that stuff.
I don't understand the choices they made with this film, seriously. There's a lot of bad stuff in it.
So, heroes, they bust into Sax's mansion. This is Vern, April, and the star of the movie, April O'Neil, and somebody named Raphael, some turtle, some green guy. Raphael beats up some guys, and he finds the turtles super quick in this mansion.
Yeah, he literally busts through like 2 doors, and he's in the room where they're at.
2 doors down.
3 doors down.
All right. Shredder. Here comes Shredder now. Raphael's going to fight Shredder. Yeah,
I have Shredder and Raph face off in the abandoned warehouse section of the castle.
Yeah, it does. It looks exactly like an abandoned. I'm almost certain it was an abandoned warehouse.
It was like all of a sudden we go from being in a lab to him falling down into what appears to be a lower section of the lab, but now all of a sudden they're like in a concrete floor, concrete columns warehouse.
It's a warehouse.
I don't know what just happened.
They didn't. Of course, the mansion didn't have an area like that, but I don't know why they needed to fight in an area that looked like a mansion. Like a warehouse.
This is where we come to find out he needed to be stupid rich so he could finish his house.
That's right. He didn't finish. It was a pool he was working.
It was the pool. They were fighting in the pool section.
So Shredder kicks Raph's ass.
Big time.
Yep. Dawn tells April to give them adrenaline.
Yeah.
So she does some gizmo on the computrix.
Yeah, I believe she hits a big red button that says adrenaline.
Yeah, they bust out because they're all full of adrenaline.
Through plexiglass that shatters.
It wasn't plexiglass, it was normal glass that you drink out of.
Okay.
And they bust out. They head after Shredder. They fight the Foot Clan out in the courtyard as they bust out.
All right.
They're bulletproof. And that's when they actually realize, hey, we're bulletproof. Well, of course you're bulletproof when they only shoot you in your shells.
Yeah.
Your front and your back shell.
If I was firing guns at them and...
These aren't pistols.
And the first couple of bullets they fired were bouncing back at them.
Maybe those meaty legs.
Aim at those fleshy legs that are massive, or those fleshy biceps and forearms. Perhaps those big, huge watermelon heads on top of their shells.
Plot.
I mean, shoot anything but the shells that is
And
reflecting bullets.
they're not being shot with like little 22s or something. They're being shot with like full machine guns.
Yeah, M16s, M4s.
Yeah.
They're getting fired at.
I've got here, Fight Foot Clan out in the courtyard. They're bulletproof. Just don't shoot their flesh. As long as you just don't shoot their flesh, they're bulletproof. They take off in a truck. The Foot are after them in their Hummers and other vehicles. And I've got here, it's a snow car chase as April and Vern and the Turtles get in a big truck, like a big 18-wheeler type thing, and they're going down the side of a mountain. Now, I've just got to say here, this whole scene was super high octane. Super shredder, if you wish. This whole scene. Super shredder. It was very hard to keep up with everything that was going on. They have, for probably, I'm going to say the first time they've ever been in snow, they have almost Lynx-like ability in snow. Like the Snow Fox. They were just like, they were born in snow, the way they can maneuver around it and move.
Have you ever slowed down the hill, Brandon?
Yeah.
When you went down the hill, did you eventually slow down?
I did.
Okay, see, that never happens to them.
With snow. They just keep going. Faster and faster.
I've snowed down a hill on a sled, and you eventually slow down.
They've got turtle skills.
I mean, they're going like breakneck speed down this mountain.
Their backs are pretty much built-in sleds in their backs.
So, I don't know how we want to tackle this, but I'm just going to go ahead and say a part. At one point, Donnie makes the comment, I've always wanted to try this. There's a Humvee coming down the hill at him. He's holding on basically to the grill of the truck as it's pushing him down the hill. He takes his bow staff.
Which is like it
extends. It extends.
Like my dong.
And he goes, I've always wanted to try this. And he extends the bow staff out. One end of the bow staff slams into the bumper, while the other end hits a rock. And his bow flips a Hummer through the air. I wrote, fuck you, movie. You've insulted my intelligence for the last time.
But he's always wanted to try it, John.
That's what I wrote there.
Yeah. But he's always wanted to try it.
I'm going to let you continue, and then I've got something else for the end.
Well, that was a little later on, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. This whole thing's crazy. The missile fucks up the truck. Leo gets knocked out of the back of the truck. Don saves Leo. You know, that's how he does it. He's like, I'm finally going to save the day because Raphael's got a big cut, like a big crack in his shell.
From where Shredder kicked his ass.
Leo gets knocked out the back of a truck. I've already said that. Jeez. I got Rocket Skateboard Mikey shows up. I guess he had that on his back, or...
I guess.
There's extreme down a side of a snow-capped mountain. Like, I don't know how this truck hasn't toppled over or any type of control. There's no control of this thing.
The trailer's swinging back and forth. All the turtles are sliding each side to side underneath it, dodging it.
It's a gonzo scene.
It's ridiculous. It's one of the most insulting scenes to physics and to my sensibilities ever.
Camera is always on the ground, I have, in this. As it's just like right there on the snow. Doesn't matter what's going on, the camera's on the snow. And I've got here, there's an avalanche that happens at one point.
Yeah.
And I've got in here, this scene is way too much.
Yeah.
This part is just way too, like I said, extreme zanginess I've written down here.
Okay.
I mean, they're just constantly like speeding up, slowing down, going underneath this truck, back and forth, underneath the the bottom of it, sliding around, and do. I'm like, okay, it's just way too much. And so they're about to fall off the edge. They catch them. That cliched scene. Leonardo saves the day, as is what Leonardo should do. He's awesome. And ultimately, I think out of all these turtles, Leonardo was handled the best, and Raphael was still pretty cool to a degree. I think Raphael needed actually a little bit more roughness about him, personally, to match what we know about him. But I thought Leonardo looked the coolest of the ones that they had changed how they look, with his kind of samurai-looking armor. Which
is funny because Peter Laird said something on his blog, which I agreed with. His shell's so tough it can reflect bullets, right?
Right.
Why does he need bamboo shoots that are about as thin as straws going down his chest?
Just for the look.
Okay, just for aesthetics.
It's aesthetics. That's what it's all about now.
Okay.
It's just wearing cool stuff.
Okay. All right.
So they say that Shredder's already over in New York City. Now, it shows Shredder on top of the building, and he's got some very delicate elven-like fingers as he's typing on this keyboard on top of this building in this tower. Mind the blades, I believe you said.
Yeah, he's got his full Shredder armor on, massive blades, but he's got some delicate typing going on that he's able to get to a keyboard.
Oh, I misspelled that. There's a sewer. They go down a sewer. The turtles, right?
Yeah. You remember where I said you've insulted my intelligence for the last time?
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah, they did it one more time.
Because here I put I was wrong. I put right below where they ended from all the chaos on the mountain. There was a sewer that goes straight to the city. And not only does it go straight to the city, Brandon, they pop out of a fucking hatch that goes straight to the building where the bad guys are.
Very convenient. Plot acceleration 2.0 is what that is. They just hit that thing into 6th gear.
You remember in Gremlins 2 where Clamp had that
the new batch?
Yeah. Where Clamp had that thing in his office that brought him up underneath that tree right to the city street. That's what this was. It was Sax at the bottom of the hill. He had a sewer slide that takes him straight to his building where he's going to commit mass genocide.
Pretty much.
So that's what it was.
Yep. Sewer took them straight to the building they need to be in. Science and technology is what we've got written here. As they run across lots of Foot Clan, which they run from. Yeah,
they turn a corner, basically. They're like, all right, guys, we're going to go right through here. There's 100 Foot guys. So they quickly close the door while all the Foot start charging towards them.
Thwarted.
And then I put NT, Ninja Turtles, skip straight to boss fight as they take an elevator straight to the top of the building.
But there's some time for some music that they make with their mouths.
Okay.
And with their
they beatbox.
They beatbox a little bit. I've got
elevator.
written here, on top of the building with Shredder, from mountaintop to building top in 5 minutes. That's how long it pretty much took for them to leave the mountaintop to reach on top of the building with Shredder.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Which is good because he had it already programmed in with delicate Japanese fingers that he was going to destroy the city within a few minutes anyways.
True.
So.
I got fight written on here.
Yep.
As they fight, April and Vern, they go after Saxy Boy.
Yep.
More fighting of Shredder above.
Yep.
Sax yells at them. He's got a gun. He's shooting at them. They're hiding.
At Vern and April.
Yep. Sax tells April that he killed her father.
What an asshole.
Prepare to die. Turtles use the old hopping game to finally beat Shredder. And there is a lot of fighting. And the fighting is cool.
Oh, yeah. You've skipped a lot. I put debris falls all over the street below. Fuck people. That's what I wrote.
Casualties of war.
That's the start of the fight. Now, yeah, we can't skip straight to what you did because there's something terrible that happens here. Well, no. I guess you're right. Yeah, they used the hopping game first.
Yeah, they used the hopping game first to beat Shredder.
Yeah. And they kick him, and he basically falls off the building.
Dawn runs to the machine to try to stop it.
Yep.
Right. What else?
He gets down to about 3 seconds left.
Yep.
By the way, you see it already dispersing into the air before the countdown is finished.
It's just a little weak stuff. It's weak.
So none of that was going to affect them, I guess?
No.
Okay. Or Shredder on top of the building? Okay.
It's not good stuff.
All right. So Shredder shows back up. He climbs back off the side of the building that you think he's fallen to his death. He climbs. You see his arm come over the side, and he climbs back up on top of the building. Mm-hmm. This is where Shredder turns into Shreddertron.
He does.
Courtesy of Michael Bay.
Many things come out from him.
Yeah. And he starts doing the old knife throw like he did with Splinter.
Yep.
And at some point, he gives up trying to throw knives at the turtles, and he throws it into the tower because basically, one of the turtles says if the tower falls down and that stuff hits the ground, it's still going to spread over 10 city blocks. So he's throwing his blades into the tower until the tower starts to crumple. Now, Brandon, I could go to any building in New York City, okay? I don't care if it's a condemned building, okay? I could throw metal knives at steel beams all day long, and I'm never going to topple that building down. Ever.
But this is Shredder, and he's doing it.
Nope.
Well, we saw it.
Nope.
Didn't we?
Not going to happen.
Well, I thought we saw it in the film.
All right, so let's for the sake of getting done with this review, which needs to happen.
Yep.
The tower starts to fall. The turtles brace the tower, holding it.
Very strong.
The 4 turtles together, Brandon, how much weight do you think they were holding up?
4 tons.
I would go way higher than that.
Really?
Dude, it was a massive metal tower that was probably like 60 feet tall itself. I mean, I got to believe that they were probably holding up like 30 tons themselves.
Jeez. Why'd you have to make me do math?
That's 60,000 pounds. There's no way the 4 of them would have held that tower up. And we see they didn't as the tower starts to fall.
So that's good then. They couldn't hold it up.
At this point, I wrote shit happens.
Well, April holds up she shows up. She holds up the mutagen to Shredder.
Yeah.
He tries to kill her to get the mutagen. The tower comes knocking down. April gets knocked off, and Shredder jumps and grabs the mutagen container too. April gets knocked off, somehow grabs onto a pole. She's also very strong. The turtles grab her. Leo throws a sword in a shredder, and April kicks him, and he falls. I guess to his death.
Yeah.
The tower comes down some more. They're all stuck in the tower, the 4 turtles and April, and they're saying their last words. Raphael says some sort of big mumbo-jumbo about how he loves the boys, his brothers, and that he's sorry for how he's been. But to me, the movie didn't really back up how he acted to what his little speech was, because I didn't see him being that.
No. Also, I started my stopwatch when this tower started falling.
Yeah.
As they were spinning through the air, holding on to the metal tower, right? They're all bracing their bodies in there.
They look like they were in seats.
It's tumbling to the ground, okay? I started my timer. It fell for 51 seconds.
And he was saying his big
speech. 51 seconds. They're tumbling through the air. That must have been the tallest building on the history of the planet Earth.
And his speech is, I would say it's embarrassing. It's an embarrassing speech.
Brandon, if I was bracing myself in the middle of, like, iron like that, like cross beams and stuff like that, and I was tumbling through the air, when I hit the ground, I'd be okay, right?
No. You'd probably be crushed.
Yeah.
Especially if it weighs 60,000 pounds.
They would all be dead.
Oh, yeah, they would have been dead. But that would have messed with the plot.
The scene makes no sense.
No, it
I mean,
doesn't.
like, it's so far out of the realm of suspension of disbelief, it's unbelievable.
Right. And it doesn't help the fact that you're watching such a cringeworthy speech from a computer-generated face talking about his brothers and how he loves them and stuff. And I never saw them. I mean, he went and saved them. Yeah, he went and saved his brothers when they were in Saxy Boy's house. But, I mean, to me, the love of each other, of the boys and stuff, it wasn't shown great. The love of Splinter wasn't shown great in the film. So everything he's saying is pretty much moot to me. I don't really care. The whole, like I said, that whole aspect of family and whatever that plot device was going to be got lost. Yeah, it's lost.
Somewhere in the writing.
Like the last,
somebody forgot about it.
Yeah, the last thing that Michelangelo says, like, as he's spilling his beans, was like, "I didn't understand the ending of Lost."
Yep.
And so
that was what he had to say at the end.
Yeah, and then Donatello licks Pop-Tarts and puts them back in. I don't understand.
I don't know.
It's dumb. So the mutagen container is broken beside the body of Shredder that all the people in New York come and gaze at.
Instantly.
Yeah, gawkers.
Cops aren't holding anybody back.
Well, they're trying, but they're failing. They gave Splinter, it shows them go into a manhole, the turtles, as they survive. They give some of the mutagen to Splinter. He's okay. He's back to being his old self.
It's got healing
properties. Vern asks April out underneath, which is in essence underneath a highway.
Under a bridge downtown.
That's where he drew some blood.
Yeah.
You can find this place that he gave in Grand Theft Auto 5. I believe I've gone underneath like a bridge and stuff like that many times.
And murdered hobos.
Yeah, murdered hobos down there. And take what little money they have. And so he shows that he's got a new car.
Yep.
And not only do they have a new car, the turtles pull up in their new vehicle.
The turtle van.
They're hiding in a huge turtle van that looks like a turtle.
April asks them, "What are you guys doing here?" And Leonardo says, "We figured we owe you. We wanted to thank you for not telling anyone about us."
In our huge turtle van.
Newsflash, guys. She told everybody that would listen about you.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So yeah, people are like, huh?
She walked into a fucking newsroom and told a group of reporters, anchors, her news director,
everybody,
her photographer,
everybody she ran across,
fucking Eric Sachs, every single person she met in the movie, her roommate, she told everyone about you. What are you talking about, guys? Thanks for not telling anybody about us.
And you can't tell me there wasn't any type of surveillance like on that. Just from nearby businesses, like showing that thing crumble down. People taking video with their cameras, showing the turtles in there. You have to, I mean, whatever. People saw these.
Thanks for not telling anybody about us.
Yeah. And so
she told everyone, guys. Everybody.
Yep. He says he's going to play a song he's got something he's going to show or do something.
Yeah, he's like, check this out. He's like, check out the bass in this thing.
And he accidentally launches a missile that they just happen to have.
Blows up Vern's car.
Don has done some really good sewer scrounging.
Yeah.
To put a missile into their vent. He blows up his car. It's supposed to be humorous with Vern.
Yeah.
He plays a song.
He says, "I got the perfect song queued up for us, April." This is Mikey saying this to April.
And the song is by a popular band of, I want to say, the 60s?
It is. The song is "Happy Together" by
the Turtles.
Remember me and you and me.
These nights are swinging low, I'm in. You're fucking out.
So April basically says, "I think I'll go back to town with Vern. We'll take the subway." And the turtles go off singing "Happy Together," and that's the end of the movie.
And the song "Shell Shocked," the cool hit R&B rock, a rap song rather.
Yeah.
"Shell Shock" starts playing, and there's a scene where it shows
the turtles in broad daylight.
Michelangelo and is it Raph? They hop up on some billboard that's got a scantily clad lingerie model, and they hide where her boobs are with their shells.
Yeah, while people all of a sudden look up because they thought they saw something.
It's humorous.
Then they hop away.
That's the end of the movie. How are we doing on time?
We're at almost an hour and a half.
Let's get this done.
So, we've now finished the entire Turtles franchise. First, I want to ask you, in all seriousness, what'd you think of this movie?
Well,
because I know you wanted to rag me and be like, you talk about how great it was, and if you actually liked it or if you actually thought it was the best, that's your opinion.
I'm going to put it into perspective. I think that's what I'm going to do.
But I want to know what your thoughts are.
The movie is not great.
No,
it's not great. But I will say this: if you take what we have seen, compare it to that, it does rate high, in my opinion. I'd rather much watch this than 3 of the other movies, by a long shot.
Okay.
I'd rather watch this than 2, 3, and the 2007 movie.
Okay.
Mainly because there are some cool fight scenes in it. That's it. That's the only saving grace of this film. There's a couple of fight scenes, you see them fighting, and some guys are really getting bucked around. Pretty cool. Shredder is not the Shredder that we've seen from the comic, from the cartoon. I wish he was a little bit more like that. More of a leader than just like a big grunt goon guy that goes and fights. It's made for, I guess, modern day teenage kids, like young teenagers and kids and stuff. I don't know. It is a garbage film. It's got a lot of garbage stuff in it. Let's get me straight. The plot. Well, that's the thing. The plot is stupid. Okay, but I'm thinking back to the other movies' plots, and I'm like, it's very much at home. It's very much at home, but
I don't think the plot was stupid because I enjoyed it in Amazing Spider-Man.
It was done,
but it was stolen.
It was fleshed out better.
I seriously remember sitting in the theater watching this movie and just being like, they are straight stealing this from Spider-Man from 2 years ago.
Right.
So many things I thought they stole from that movie.
It's got a lot of stupidity in it, obviously, a plot and trying to make sense of stuff, which we thoroughly ragged. But I guess it's not the great Turtle movie that it could have been. And so what I have to do is put it on the same level with the other trash that we've seen, pretty much, from these movies. And like I said, I would probably still hold the first one up as my favorite Turtle movie because it's got a lot of the tropes that I like from the Turtles, from the Foot Clan being ninjas to Shredder being really. He's still, even though he's got a big stupid helmet on, he's still a Shredder that I know, kind of the take charge of my foot. We're going to take the city. It's got a better relationship shown with the boys by a long shot. Then when they go out to the mansion and stuff, those are all cool scenes with them. Their relationship with Splinter seems stronger as well. I think they really missed out on this more on the brothers' relationship with themselves and on Splinter, mainly because it didn't show any type of conflict between Leo and Raphael. I think that would have been a lot better, showing some sort of places that they're at in their head that conflict, but at the end of the day, they all come together the way they did in the other movies, where they have done. And I don't think they did that at all. I didn't see any type of conflict whatsoever.
They didn't show it well, yeah. They push each other one time. You hear Michelangelo say, "Oh, we haven't gone 30 minutes before you guys had this fight."
And that's not.
And then at the end of the movie, like you're saying, they try to just limp it in and throw it in where Raph goes, "No, we do what Leo says." Like, but they never built up the thing of where they weren't listening to Leo.
Yeah.
To where it matters that Raph made the statement, "No, we do what Leo says." Like, it was just half-assed, man.
It really was half-assed the way that the relationship was with them. Way too much April O'Neil. Like I said, I wanted to change the whole theme song. It'd be like, I'm sitting there watching it and I'm thinking, how do we curb the budget? How do we curb the budget? We'll make this fucking movie about April O'Neil. And that's what they did. She's got an orange jacket and she's got a photon.
I'm still not convinced that they didn't. There were rumors beforehand that the guy that played Eric Sachs, who was David Fitchner, that he was going to be Shredder.
Right.
And I am not convinced that when there was such an uproar over that,
He changed it.
that they didn't go back and just change it. Because
The aliens thing.
Because Shredder's face, because it's covered the whole time with the full mask,
Yeah.
it could have been Fitchner in it.
Yeah.
And they might have just gone back and reshot the couple of scenes with
You're right.
the scarred up penis
Right?
to make it look like it was a different guy.
Yeah, and plus the aliens thing was known too. And they make a joke about, what are they, aliens? And he's like, no, she's like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah.
April says that, but that was what was originally leaked, that they were going to be aliens. This is from Michael Bay's mouth, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He talked about that.
So I think they went back in the end.
think they did too.
And they reshot a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
after there was an uproar. And I think because it kind of got cobbled together like that, I think it wasn't the coherent movie that they originally probably planned. I'm not making excuses for it, but I think that definitely happened.
I like to know where they put all their money into, to be honest with you. This is not some of the best CGI I've seen, by a long shot. They look okay. Their designs are messed up a little bit. Ultimately, it's a throwaway film, once again, that doesn't raise the bar any way whatsoever with the Turtles. It already had a nice placement with the very first Turtles movie. Had a good theme, had a good look about it. And it just can't be beat yet. And this movie had the chance to do that, but maybe the second one will. But I don't think this movie is. I would still rather watch this. I would watch this more than Turtles 3 in a heartbeat.
Of course, yeah.
Turtles 3 is.
I'd watch it more than 3.
Super fucking shit.
I'd watch it more than TMNT. But here's how it comes out for me. The original is still the best.
Yeah.
For me, just for nostalgia's sake,
2.
I would probably watch 2 first, then this one,
Plus Vanilla Ice.
then this one, then TMNT from 2007, and then 3 I'll never watch again.
Yeah, I'll never watch that film again.
Well,
I would put 2 there as well. It does have Vanilla Ice. It's a big saving grace. This movie is just, for me, it's right behind it. Mainly because 2
is still bad. It's not great. It's still
It's not
bad.
bad. Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
one of those things like where, like I said, because of nostalgia and because of how much I liked it as a kid, I'll enjoy rewatching that more than I did rewatching this.
Right. And Splinter kicks so much ass in this film. I'm like, well, Splinter, why didn't you go out with them to go fight shit? And that was the thing too. I think they completely messed out on this movie. They didn't explain that it didn't have Splinter telling the boys, look, you guys have got amazing abilities now. You've got to go out and try to help the city. You need to make your way. You need to do something with your lives other than us just stay down here and y'all have extreme skills. They didn't touch on that at all in this film. I didn't feel like he was guiding them towards being these great heroes that they are. Possibly in a half show. Okay? And so that, he is a radical rat, but still, if he's so radical, he kicked ass. It should have been Splinter and the boys kicking ass and taking names.
That's why, ultimately, man, that's why I like the first one so much, man, is because
Splinter should have been old.
It focuses on them as a group coming together, fighting.
Yeah.
It focuses on them losing a fight, losing a member of their family, losing their master, having to go out of the city to that, to the farm, rebuild, retrain, become a unit again, come back. It's got, like you said, it's got actual ninjas in it.
Yep.
It's got a shredder that doesn't suck. April and Casey Jones in it are very good.
It has a moral lesson about kids and stuff, about, stealing and doing drugs and finding false leaders or people to look up to, like the Foot Clan was to these boys and girls. And during the 90s, there was a lot of movies like that they used to make movies like that had some sort of theme, for kids to learn.
And like I said, ultimately for me, being a fan of the comic books, it's got scenes straight out of those first 10 issues taken straight into that book or into that movie. That's why overall, it's still to me, it's still the best film.
I'd take that Shredder over this Shredder too, on the way he looks, even though he's got that big helmet and that stupid cape. Because, like I said, he's still the Shredder that I know from to a degree. Yeah. None of them are the way they are in the cartoon. The Shredder in the cartoon. Shredder in the cartoon is he's always trying to do stuff, pointing and blah 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 blah. He doesn't really get into the mix a lot, but he's more of a leader type. This thing was just like, it really was like a big robot. That could have been a robot Shredder. Really. You could have thrown that guy away. Sachs Robotics made this Shredder machine. We'll send the Shredder Bot 2000.
That's what I'm saying. A guy I work with started calling it, when we saw the previews, last year.
Yeah.
He was calling it Shreddertron.
Yeah.
Because it was a Michael Bay Transformer
It
Shredder.
didn't need to be that dude. And so, he didn't have the weight. And it was a plot stolen straight from Amazing Spider-Man, which was done better. So that's never good to see a plot that you've already seen, Avengers.
Within 2 years.
Yeah. So it's a bad film. but it surrounds itself with worse films. So it definitely, you look for what's better in it. A lot of the stuff that that you have beef with, and I've seen other people have beef with, I just kind of go, I'm not expecting anything great out of this at all. I did have high hopes that maybe they could do something serious with it, but they didn't. They still didn't. At the end of the day, all you know is that Shredder died, and that's it.
Well, that's for Great Podcast 2.0. That's our first franchise down. TMNT. We're finished. So now, next week, like we said, we'll start Mad Max.
Mad Max, yeah. And then after that, Road Warrior. After that, Beyond Thunderdome. And then maybe the timing, I didn't really look, but maybe the timing we'll be able to go see Fury Road. And then
I think Fury Road will have been out for, I think, a week by the time we watch Thunderdome.
So we'll be good then. It should still be in the theater.
Yeah, it should still be in the theater, and we should go see it.
We'll be able to do all four.
And hopefully not have a lot of people by the time we go see it in the theater.
Maybe so. So we won't have to mess with other humans.
Yep.
Who we.
So what song are you picking this week?
It's your song.
Is it my song?
Yep. I thought you were going to do Shell Shocked.
No. If anything, I'm closing with the Turtles.
I would do that.
All right. Well, then
there it is, guys.
Here are the Turtles.
Yeah.
We said it earlier. Great Podcast on Twitter.
Yep. Abe Randall on Twitter.
And Savage GM on Twitter.
Yeah. So go Ape, everybody.
Go Ape.
Go Ape.
Think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy to